If you've been curious about brioche knitting but a little bit hesitant because you're afraid that maybe it's too difficult or you don't have enough experience, well, you're in the right place. This is generally recognized as a more advanced stitch, but in my opinion, with the right instruction and the right determination, you can knit this stitch. It's really not that difficult once you get the hang of it. So brioche knitting is a very vast type of knitting. You can do so many beautiful things with brioche knitting. So learning the basics in the single color brioche, it really is worth your time. It makes a luxurious, squishy, stretchy fabric that has a beautiful drape to it. So it's great for clothing. I have knit hand towels with this before out of some really soft cotton yarn. It's also perfect for scarves. I have in fact deemed this, the single color brioche, the perfect scarf stitch. I have an entire pattern on my website, a step-by-step tutorial that'll walk you through, basically everything that you saw here, but in scarf form. It'll show you what you need for the project to get it finished. And it's a great way to practice the stitch if you're, more interested in making something useful and not just a swatch. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to knit the single color brioche stitch, and we'll practice on just a little swatch.
The first thing we're going to do is cast on an odd number of stitches to start the brioche pattern. Now you can work any type of cast on method that you want. I prefer the long tail cast on. I find it very easy for me to work. And I'm going to do just 11 stitches for a little swatch here, and it's a good idea to do a practice swatch before you dive into a big project. So if you want to work right along with me, go ahead and cast on 11 stitches. Now the first row when we're working the brioche stitch is going to be different from the other two repeated rows. So we're going to cover a setup row here, and then we'll move into row 1 and row 2, which are the repeats. So the first stitch we want to knit. Then we're going to bring the yarn forward, or we're going to make a yarn over, just like that. So it's kind of steadying on the bottom of that needle. And then we're going to slip the next stitch purlwise. So I'll insert my needle into the stitch just as if I were going to purl it, but instead of purling, I'm just going to slip it onto this needle here. And we're going to leave the yarn where it is, and we want to knit the next stitch. And when we do this, we're going to have an extra wrap on our needle because that yarn was in forward. So you can see it right here kind of goes at an angle. And that's the repeat. We're going to yarn over, insert our needle purlwise into the next stitch, slip it over, and then knit the next stitch. Yarn over, slip the next one purlwise, and knit. Now, just in case a yarn over is new to you and you're a continental knitter, which means you hold your working yarn in your non-dominant hand, let me show you what that looks like. So I would be holding my work just like this, and a yarn over, I'm just going to grab it with that back needle. So it's kind of just laying over the top of it. Then I will slip one purlwise, and that yarn is still forward there, and then we're going to knit the next one. You have to bear with me because this is not my usual knitting style. And then just knit the next one. So that's how you would do it continental style. I'm going to switch things back over. I've got just a couple stitches here, so I'll yarn over, slip one purlwise, and then I'm going to knit the last stitch. And that's all there is to the setup row. If you're working a larger piece, if you decide to jump right into a project here with this tutorial, you'll finish that repeat until you get to the end of the row, and things should work out as they did here, where we make a knit in the last stitch, and that's how you know that you're on the right track. The other thing you can do is have a look at your work and make sure that you have what looks to be a normal stitch and then what looks to be that yarn over, or where you have the strand that's kind of crossing over. And when you see this yarn over stitch right here, that is your brioche stitch, abbreviated BRK, and you're going to get very familiar with that as we move on to row number 2. Now row number 2, we're going to start that off by knitting the first stitch. And this is actually the start of the next row as well, so that's just something you can commit to memory there. We're always going to knit the first stitch. Now when we come to our next stitch, this is a brioche stitch, and I can tell that because it has that yarn over. It's kind of laying over on top. What I want to do is insert my needle knitwise, but I want to catch both of those stitches, so the yarn over and the stitch, and just knit them as if they were one. Then I'm going to yarn over and slip the next one purlwise. Another thing I want to point out is that the stitch that's available to slip is a single stitch, or the one that we slipped from the previous row. That's very important in order to maintain our stitch pattern. So from here, our next stitch is a brioche stitch. So I'll insert my needle knitwise and just basically knit those two together. Now yarn over. The next one is a stitch that I can just slip one purlwise, and then brioche. And we'll just keep going until we get to the end. And when you get to the end of the row, I've did a brioche stitch there. I want to make sure I just go ahead and knit that last stitch. And that's going to finish row 2. Now we're moving right along to row number 3, which is the final row of the stitch pattern repeat for this brioche knit stitch. And all we'll need to do is turn our work, and we're set up to go. On the first stitch, we want to knit. Then we're going to yarn over and slip one purlwise. Now the next is a brioche, so we're going to brioche knit, yarn over, slip one purlwise, brioche knit, and you're pretty much getting the hang of it by now. Now when we get to the last one, you saw I made a yarn over, I slipped one purlwise, and I'm going to knit the last stitch with that yarn in front to finish off row number 3. Now it really doesn't look like much here. We have to get several rows before we can really establish the pattern, the texture, and the feel of this stitch. So I encourage you to go ahead and work up a few more rows, just as we've covered here. So the next one we're going to start off with is row number 2, then row number 3, and we're going to repeat that, and then we're going to work on the cast off. The first thing you want to do when you're binding off is make sure that you're doing so with the right side facing you. And I'm not going to tell you to memorize which row of the repeat is going to be the right or the wrong side. There's actually an easier way to figure that out. So what I do is look at the very bottom edge and take a nice look at how this bottom edge looks from this angle versus when I flip it over and look at it this way. See how it's a little bit more bumpy on this side? This is what I call the wrong side of the work. And this looks a little bit neater, so this is the right side. So make sure that you're looking at this bottom edge when you're ready to bind off. And the concept is pretty much the same. There is a couple things that we're going to do differently. Now, one thing you'll notice is that the brioche stitch is a really stretchy, flexible fabric. So what I like to do is actually drop one of my needles that I'm working with and go up a couple of sizes. So the red ones here, these are 5mm needles, and I'm going to switch to a 6.5mm needle for my bind off. And that's for a couple of reasons. One, because I typically like to bind off a lot tighter than my regular stitches, so that creates a top edge that's maybe kind of puckered like this, and I don't want that. So taking your new needle, we're going to continue with our stitch pattern repeat, but of course we're going to bind off as we go. So I'm going to knit the first stitch, and then the next one is a brioche knit. So I'm going to brioche knit just as if I were working the regular stitch pattern. And then I'm going to pass this loop over this one, and that is going to bind that stitch off. Now the next stitch here is where I would yarn over and slip one purlwise, but what I'm going to do is, instead of slipping it purlwise, I'm just going to purl it like normal, just like a normal stitch. Then I want to pass this one over this one, and to do that I always just pull my yarn at the back and kind of tighten it up. Pass it over to bind it off. Now the next one is a brioche knit, so I'm going to just knit that one, pass it over. And that's the repeat. Just look at that purl the same. So I'm going to pull it to the front, purl the stitch. I like to pull my yarn to the back so that it gets it out of the way. Pass it over. And then when you get to the last stitch, we're just going to knit that. And then still pass that last one over. And then you're just ready to fasten off. And you can see that by using this larger needle, it helps my bind off edge match my cast on edge.
So practice a little bit with that scarf, or practice a little bit with your swatch, or perhaps oversizing your swatch and making something that's maybe like washcloth sized. I'll also link a free pattern for a hand towel, which is also one of my favorite brioche knitting projects, like for the single color brioche. I'll have all of those resources linked in the description below, so you can get some more practice in the way that you like to practice your knitting stitches. Happy knitting, and I'll see you in the next one.